Hi friends, it's Julia. I'm here to share a layout that I created using my September 2019 Mini Kit Monday kit. I know, it's been a while. So I created this kit with the intention of using it up in a month, and that just didn't happen. And so now when I started using this kit again in, I think about August of 2020, I had used part of it when I first made it back in 2019, put it on a shelf, got distracted doing other things, and then pulled it back out to start working with again in August of 2019. And I'm just about to the end of it with this layout. But that kit was intentionally, um, not intentionally, it was intended to be a smaller kit, but for whatever reason, yeah, it turned out huge. I think it was because of the paper collection that I added in. It's an SEI collection called Vogue. Um, really large paper collection, and I really didn't add much into it as far as paper goes, but there was a ton of embellishments that went along, and I added a whole bunch more. So if you guys have been around for any length of time, you know for me, killing a kit means using up all the paper, or cutting into all the paper, not necessarily using it all up. And so that's what you see me doing here, is using lots of paper on this, whether it be scraps or new sheets of paper. Whatever I have left in the kit, I want to get used up. And towards the end of the kit, I was making like mini page kits, single page kits to get me through so that I could get everything that I wanted to as far as the full sheets of paper used up. So the inspiration for this kit is from Page Maps 2020, and it's a one-page layout. And I think the layout was about a brace face that I used. Anyway, it was just inspiration. I don't think my layout looks a whole lot like that one. Here you see me using my die. It's a Sizzix die that I haven't pulled out and used in forever to create that scallop border. Um, yeah, and I love how that turned out, but I ran it through the machine a couple of times, like forward and then backward, and when I did, it caused it to jump a little bit, and so there's a lot of little flaky pieces on it, which I wasn't super duper happy about, but I'm okay. It'll work out. I'm not going to stress over it because I can call this layout done. It's another one done and in the album, or to go into the album, if you will. So I'm layering up lots of little bits and pieces of paper, and you can see border strip, scrap, a couple of scraps. That orange piece was a full sheet of paper, and then the background piece is a full sheet of paper, but the rest have all been scraps. And I'm just layering things up. The photo is of my grandson, Merritt. He is a new addition to our family as of this year. My son married his mom, and she had previously two boys coming into the marriage. So, of course, they get absorbed into our family as well. Um, and so it was a grandparents' day at school to have lunch with your grandkids. Um, and we were invited to go. And of course, we're like, yeah, we'll be there. Um, so my husband and I went and had lunch with him, and we had a great time. He is such an amazing kid to be sitting there and just having the best time, having fun with us. I looked around the cafeteria and there were kids just sitting there with their grandparents, not laughing or commenting or doing anything, not joking around or playing around. They were just eating lunch, and I thought, oh, how sad. What a sad state of affairs. I'm so happy that Merritt is such a good kid, really and truly a special kid. And this is what this layout is titled, Special Kid. Yeah, he's a doll. I love having him around. So next up, I've got this photo frame that I pulled out of my stash. I thought it was going to be big enough, but I really can't cut much more off the photo because of the fact that, Merritt's chin is right down at the bottom and my husband's head is right up at the top. So I had to get another sheet of paper to cut a border around. And so you'll see here on one side of the layout, there was a circle edition. So I got a scrap piece of metallic paper, and I'm just going to use this old circle template that I have and cut around and make that circle, or a partial circle, I should say. I haven't had that template out in quite a while, and I always like to pull those old tools out given the opportunity, because it really makes me feel good to know that I'm getting my money's worth. The whole, like, it was a probably $10 template when I bought it, a bazillion years ago, and I've been using it for, you know, if I've had it for 10 years and I paid $10 for it, it's cost me $1 a year. So you do the math. I have really gotten my money's worth. Now, this is an acetate piece, and it had the title on there, Special Kid. And so what I did was I fussy cut that word out. I separated it and fussy cut it out. I lost a little bit of footage because my camera battery died, but I'm adding up some layers here. That's just a vellum half circle that I had left over. And then over on the right, I added a couple of vellum pieces over to that side as well. I'm layering up my hearts, and they are vellum and cardstock hearts. And so I'm going to have 3 little embellishment clusters on here. And so you'll see me put those together, 2 hearts to each little cluster. And those two, the skinny or longer hearts, I wish I still had that punch, but it broke on me. I loved that punch, and at one point I had gone through my stash, all of my scraps, and I had punched thousands of hearts. And I think I had a little bit in each color collection, and I think that may be the last of the ones that I've seen recently in oranges. I know it's the last ones that I had in oranges, but like in the other color bins, I haven't seen any of those long hearts in a long time. And it's been years. Gosh, probably 10 years since that punch broke. So you see there, I'm using just some glue dots to put behind that acetate piece, and I'm going to put it right there on that circle, where in the inspiration, that's also where they put their title, was on that circle. I'm really going to get, busy here. There's not a whole lot left to do on this layout. I have this, I guess, bumblebee, maybe, uh, giant bee or giant fly, whatever it is. It came in the ephemera pack. I'm just adding some foam tape to the back of it, and I'm just going to place it right there as just an additional embellishment, only because, boys and bugs, just 'cause. These leafy embellishments are ones that I had done for a project. I was going to do some, um, oh, what do you call it? Mixed media, if you will. I have some watercolor paper, and I had used some um, distress stain down on my craft mat, and created some pieces of green watercolor paper, and then I fussy cut them, stamp them in fussy, or not fussy cut, stamp them and then die cut them. But I stamped them with, um, oh, what is that stuff called? And I don't have it right here in front of me. I've put it up. It's the stuff that you use when you're going to use like heat embossing. So that's what I did. I used gold glitter heat embossing powder and created leaves with the watercolor paper. And I had multiple shades of green. I think I had 3 different shades, and they turned out just so pretty. Um, I loved how they looked, so I wanted to incorporate some here on this layout, because I had made them just prior to doing this layout when I made some cards. And you'll see as I go around, they're not perfect by any means, and that's okay. I think that's what I like the best about them, is the fact that they are not perfectly cut, they're not perfectly embossed, they're not perfectly colored. They just give a little bit of interest. And to each little cluster of hearts, I'm going to add a couple little leaves. And I do cut off the stems or tear off the stems. So I've got all of those down, and now I'm just looking to see where I'm going to put my journaling out. I find that little piece of a journal spot that I had left over, and I've decided I'm going to layer that back in behind those two vellum pieces just to give it a little additional interest. And so I've got my journaling spot put down there, and it's just a random piece out of my blue color bin. And I'm just documenting about us going to school. And so here in a minute, I'm going to get my stickles out, not stickles, um, liquid pearls out and finish off this. I do have some close-up photos at the end if you want to see a little bit closer up. Oh, and I add some faux stitching around that metallic um, paper. But if you want to see the closer up photos, stay tuned to the very end and you will see them. I hope this inspires you to get into your stash and play with it and use some of it up. And if you like this video, I would love for you to flip me a thumbs up. And if you are interested in seeing videos where I make layouts from stuff that's been in my stash for a while, feel free to subscribe. I would love to have you be able to see these videos as they come out. Anyway, that's it for me, guys, and I will see you on the next video. Have a great day, everyone. Don't forget to stay tuned for the close-ups. Bye-bye.